It used to be looking for things like Playboy magazine under the bed, but today with so many avenues for explicit media to come into your home, you have to be a little bit more savvy. I'm Suzanne Cantra, founder of Techlicious.com, and I'll be showing you some ways to block those avenues. One of the most obvious ways that you want to block media from coming into your house is by setting up your computer so that it will not accept explicit material. This means setting up a different profile for each person in the house, because a teen might be able to view content that you wouldn't want a younger child to see. When you go into the parental controls, you're going to be doing things like setting up times of day that they can use the computer, putting on ratings for games that they can play, and also blocking certain types of websites that they can browse to. You can also set up specific programs that can and can't be used. For instance, there are programs like iTunes that have material on it that you may want to block entirely, or go into programs themselves and set those controls up separately. So once you've set up your system so that your child has only access to those programs that you want him or her to, you're going to want to go and do a little bit more fine-grained control for internet access, because porn sites tend to have little typos that they will get the names for, and so your child thinks he's going to the White House website, and actually he's going to a porn website, and so you want to be able to block that out. There are two different types of programs that you can use to block or allow. There are what are called whitelist programs, where you say your child can go to this specific list of websites, and there are blacklist programs, which means that you have to go in and tell the program which sites they cannot access. It is easier to do a whitelist system, but if your child needs to do reporting on different types of topics, maybe they're in high school, you probably want to set it up more as a blacklist system. If you want a little more control than what's provided by your computer's operating system, you'll want to investigate software that's specifically designed to let you know what's going on with your children, what programs they're accessing, what kinds of conversations they're having, where they're going on the web. You can get reports, and actually, if you're at work, authorize access to websites or other types of activities on the fly, programs like NetNanny, for instance. When it comes to television, you get literally hundreds of channels through cable and satellite, but that also means there are a lot more opportunities for your child to stumble upon content that you may not want him or her to see, especially the younger children. That's where you can get into parental controls, and there are two different ways you can do it. One is through the cable or satellite box itself. It has the parental controls baked in, and you can select the content rating, whether that's N or PG-13, and then that child will not be able to view the content unless he or she knows the PIN to be able to access the channel. Now, there's also another way to do it if you're getting over-the-air broadcast. It's called a V-chip. And again, with the TV settings, and this comes from the TV manufacturer, you can again set it up by content rating. When you bring a game console home, the first thing you're going to want to do is set up those parental controls. And that means that if a child brings over a game that's of a rating that you don't feel your child should be playing, they won't be able to play it. But in addition to that, if you want to be able to access the other features that the game console has, for instance, being able to rent movies or download extensions to a game, you have to make sure that the internet access is also set up so that they won't be looking at mature content as well. Each system has a different way of doing this, and so you need to make sure that you find out whether it's for the global, for the entire system, or whether you're going to have to do this on a game-by-game basis. Some of the features you're going to look at are things like chat, being able to actually have a real live-time conversation, or just basic things like extensions to games and content downloads. While it's impossible to monitor your child's media viewing 24/7, with these tips you can make sure that mature content won't reach your child. For more information, be sure to log on to Techlicious.com.